Hi guys, let's solve one small dynamic programming problem today. It's called the minimum operations problem in Geeks for Geeks. So we are given with the number n and we need to find the number of operations required to reach n from 0. Okay, so here also, just like other DP problems, many other DP problems, we at every point we have two choices that we can take. Either we double a particular number or we add 1 to that number, and we continue taking the appropriate choice until we reach n starting from 0. Let's start with a simple brute force solution to this problem. Here we have two choices to take. Either we got the number n by doubling the previous number or by adding 1 to the previous number. Okay, so the choice is just about either we got n by doubling or by incrementing it with 1. Okay, so if at all we had taken a choice, we are taking a top down approach, so we need to break down the given problem of size n into small sub problems. So if n is an even integer, then that n could have been got by doubling some previous number, doubling n by 2, or it could have been got by adding 1 to the previous number, that is n minus 1. Okay, so we check this condition. If n is an odd number, then we could only get n by adding 1 to the previous number. Okay, so this is one such sub problem, so we recursively call it, and this operation is considered as one single operation. Similarly, if n were an even number, then that means n could have been obtained either by doubling the previous number or by incrementing 1. Okay, so by previous number I mean if n is got by doubling, then our sub problem was n by 2. Otherwise, if it was got from incrementing, then the sub problem is n minus 1. Okay, so whatever is the minimum of both of these possible paths, we take this. Now this itself is considered as one single operation, so we add 1 to the result. So this is the result that we are looking for, and we just return the result. If we run this, we still have to add the base condition. Okay, so the base condition is, if you see the example here, let's say our n was 1, then from 0 we can't double it because we can only increment it with 1, so we'll get 1. So this is considered as one operation. So this is the base case. Okay, so if my n is 1, then I just return 1. That is considered a single operation. To reach 1 from 0, it requires only one operation, that is incrementing by 1. Okay, so this is the base condition. If we run this, we get an output of 4, as is expected from this. Okay, so this is the brute force solution, and clearly we can see that it is taking exponential time complexity. At every call, in the worst case, we are making 2 recursive calls, so this continues until n reaches 1. So the time complexity is big O of 2 power n. Okay, where n is the given number, and every time we are incrementing the function calls in powers of 2. Okay, every time it goes on increasing in powers of 2. For converting this into top down memoization way, it's pretty simple and straightforward. We take a one dimensional array, because the input is only one dimensional. We take only one parameter is changing with respect to our recursion. So we take one dimensional array and use it as a memoization array. Okay, so that is a pretty straightforward. You can try it out. Now let's look into the bottom up approach. In the bottom up approach, we will start with the smallest sub problem, bottom up approach, We'll start with the smallest subproblem. What is the smallest subproblem? When n is equal to 1. Okay, let's get a chunk of memory. Now let's start with the problem where our problem is equal to 1. Okay, so we will be solving for all the values of I, where I is the problem space, problem value of the n. From 1 we will be solving all the subproblems till n. Okay, so at every point we can take an example here. For bottom up approach, it's always best to consider it with an example. Let's have inputs here and outputs in this row. We start from the smallest subproblem from 1 till all the way till 8. Okay, for 1 the output is 1. For 2 the output is 2. We first increment 0 to 1 and then either double or increment it. Similarly for 3 it is 3. For 4 you can double 2, so that will be just require only 3 operations. For 5 what you can do is from 4 you can't double, from 3 you can't double, but you can increment from 4, so that will take 4 operations. Similarly, you can start seeing a pattern here. The same pattern we had applied in the top down approach, where at every number, at every problem that we consider, we just look at the solution of n by 2. That means to reach 6, I could reach to 6 either by doubling 3 or by incrementing 5. Okay, but to reach 6, let's say if I doubled 3, then it requires one more operation than the number of operations that required me to reach 3. Okay, so that's the same logic we apply for 6. Either we can double 3, that means to reach 3 we needed 3 operations. From 3 we double and it requires an operation of 4. Either we can do that or we increment 5. 5 plus 1 is 6. But to reach 5 we needed 4 operations. 4 plus 1 is 5. Out of 4 and 5 the minimum is 4. So the solution for input 6 is 4. Similarly for 7, since 7 is an odd number, we could not have reached 7 by doubling any other number. So the only choice we have is we increment the corresponding output by 1. Okay, for 6 we increment the value number of operations that we got to reach 6 by 1. For that we will get 5. Let us apply the same logic in programming here. So initially when I is 1, that is our base condition. When I is 1, we store in the memory, we store as 1 because we know the solution. This is the base condition. For all other values of I, if my problem value, if the given problem is an odd number, okay, so if it is an odd number, then I have no choice. I'll just take the value from the previous number, output of previous number, and just add 1 to that. Okay, 1 because we are performing addition operation. This operation is taken as one single operation. Otherwise, if it's an even number, then we have two choices. One is either we take the solution corresponding to doubling the previous number, or we take the solution corresponding to just incrementing the previous number. So whatever is minimum, we consider that. This whole thing is considered as one single operation. Okay, so this is the bottom up approach. Our final solution will be equal to memory of n. Okay, where n is our input. Here in the index we are representing our input, that means the given problem space, and the value of the corresponding location will be the result. Okay, so let's run the bottom up approach for an input value of 8. We need to initialize the memory with value 0. Now if we solve this, you can see we get the expected solution. If our input was 7, we get 5. So in the bottom up approach, the time and space complexity is reduced to big O of n. That's it for this video. If you found it useful, please like, share, and don't forget to subscribe. See you guys next time.